Hey guys, at Horror Critic here, and today we're going to be talking about the 2013 horror film The Conjuring. It's directed by James Wan. We've seen James direct Saw, Insidious, Death Sentence, Dead Silence, and his upcoming Insidious 2. And what do I have to say about The Conjuring? Honestly, I'm just going to come straight out and say this movie is a fantastic horror film, and it's one of the first good horror films I have seen in a long time. So if you're thinking about going to see an entertaining horror film, or you're thinking about just going and seeing something that'll scare you or just give you a good fun time, definitely go and see The Conjuring. It's not that long of a film, but honestly, it's almost 2 hours. But the way that it takes you through it, you won't even notice the time whatsoever. It's just an enjoyable ride of a movie, and I honestly loved the film. You would think that, yeah, it's a paranormal horror film, which means it deals with ghosts and paranormal entities and stuff like that. And we've seen a lot of them this past decade in horror. That's mainly what the craze is. At first, it was torture movies. Now we're going on to the ghost movies. So you probably think that this isn't going to be too great because all those ghost movies that were, some of them were okay, and that was at their best. They were just okay. But this one is really good, and that's due to James Wan. The way he does this movie builds suspense and then scares you, and that's the way that horror movies are done well. That's how you make a horror movie scares well. You build suspense and then you come out with a jump scare. But movies like the most recent Paranormal Activity movie, the fourth one, just continually jump scare, jump scare, jump scare, jump scare, with no build up whatsoever. But this has adequate build up. You sit there, you look, you're very tense. Then you think something's gonna happen. Maybe it doesn't. And then right after you let off the steam from it doesn't, or a false shock, then it happens. It's really, really good, at building suspense and just terrifying you. If you're not an avid fan of horror or a horror buff that just watches these movies all the time, you're probably going to be terrified at this movie because my theater, though it had its fair share of interrupted moments where people were just being, the crappy moviegoers. For the most part, everyone was screaming at all the scary moments or laughing, which I guess is a decent way to let off steam. But most everyone was screaming, and that's great to see in a theater because I mean, usually nowadays people scream at the stupidest stuff, and I am really thankful to see people actually scream at something that deserves to be screamed at. Like, this is a great movie, fantastic. If you want to know what it's about, it's basically about these two paranormal investigators named the Warrens, Ed and Lorraine. They come to the house of the Perron family, which is uh, a man and his wife, and then his 5 daughters. Basically, they've been having a lot of paranormal stuff going on. The Warrens don't think it's going to be too bad. They set up a lot of stuff, but then stuff just starts going haywire, way worse than anything the Warrens have seen, and that's pretty much what the movie's about. It goes through at a, despite the movie's length, it goes through at a very quick pace. You would be honestly just surprised to know that this movie is almost 2 hours long, because if you watched it, you really don't feel the length whatsoever. It just speeds right on through it, and it keeps you enjoyed every minute. So if you guys want to see an entertaining like summer movie, I would definitely say go see The Conjuring. It's making a lot of money in the box office, and I am very proud of that because this movie deserves the money it's getting. So, thank you, James Wan. I hope to see another good horror movie from you with Insidious 2. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you all go see The Conjuring. See you later.